So while that is setting up, I am going to share my screen. Share screen. Oops. Pardon me for a minute. Close. All right. All right, all right, all right. I'm just going to grab the chat for any of you who want to jump in on Zoom. How are we doing for time? Look at that, 12 o'clock on the dot. Boom, right? Like a boss. All right, I've just got Facebook pulled up on my laptop, so pardon me for a moment while I refresh that screen, verifying that I am in fact live and that I can see your comments as you come through. So I've already got 3 of you who've jumped on. Look at you, love you. Hello, Kathleen. Hello, Christina. Glad to see you are here. So listen, Christina, you were not here yesterday and you're going to be blown away. So do not worry. I am going to be summarizing a little bit of what we learned yesterday. It was basically a lot about statistics and about kind of my program and how my program is just very different from what you're going to get in the weight loss industry today. So you don't have to worry about having missed too much. And today we're going to be getting into our very first 2 archetypes. Okay, so I'm pretty excited about this. While we wait for some more people to join in, so I've already got, I got Wendy here and Marie showed me some love. Thank you, Marie. I believe you're going to be working today. Elizabeth is working today, so you might end up having to watch some of this on the replay. So Marie, let me know if you're going to be sticking around or not. Okay, so I'm going to get into this right away, so I'm not wasting any more of your time. Let me go ahead and get right into our next slide. It would help if I grabbed my keyboard. I forgot I needed it. Okay, perfect. Oops, my bad. There we go. So today we're going to be uncovering 2 of the 6 archetypes that I mentioned yesterday, described as the mesomorph and its very opposite archetype, the endomorph ectomorph. So the mesomorph somatotype has a naturally athletic build, while the ectomorph, the only archetype that's like physical presence, can span across all archetypes. So it can take on the full range of the somatotypes, is naturally the most steady of the 6 somatotypes. And before we jump into these first 2 somatotypes, as I promised, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a quick recap on what we covered yesterday. So yesterday, I talked to you about how 80% of those who diet fall victim to what we call the weight rebound effect. So oftentimes in the industry, you're actually going to hear like a 95% failure rate. And what research is starting to show is they don't actually know where the 95% came from. So what we used to say was, well, you're only 5% if you actually make it through, are successful like in weight loss within kind of a 5 to 10 year span. What they're realizing now is the actual success rate is a little bit higher. Unfortunately, the failure rate is still very high at like 80%. And what they're also recognizing is the failure rate of 80%, there's a high propensity of that failure rate actually affecting the metabolism. That's what we're calling the weight rebound effect. So it's really a wonder why the industry hasn't learned from this high turnover rate and changed their weight loss model, but they haven't. There isn't a weight loss program or service out there that provides you with all of the elements that you need for permanent weight loss. Yes, you can lose the weight by reducing your calories and increasing your exercise. Here's the thing though, what got you to the place that you're in currently has to be addressed. And that's not just eating and exercise. There's a lot of stuff on here that has to be decoded for the permanent weight loss habits to stick. Because when we're under stress, when we feel like we have this perception of no time, when we have this desire to put other people first because we feel like they're more important to us, that is when we spiral back into old habits. Yes, yes, or yes, right? Amazing. Okay, thank you. Maria, got you. So because of this, the weight loss industry, it's not designed yet to take care of you from all elements of which you need to be taken care of. So I explained that a personalized approach is needed to circumvent the weight rebound effect. We must include psychobehavioral therapy to address the actual behavior and mindset towards food, body image, level of satisfaction, and emotional attachments that trigger overeating. Lastly, weight loss is tough to achieve when our bodies are out of whack. Would you agree? Hormones are unbalanced and we suffer from inflammation. Inflammation is a huge proponent for not being able to lose weight. We also end up with sugar cravings, unhealthy gut, which doesn't allow us to digest the minerals and vitamins that we need. And then we end up with low energy. Now, I do have a cellular support supplement that addresses these current underlying health issues. This level of care, however, is not offered in the weight loss industry and is required to ensure that we get the best resource of care to increase the probability of success. Because as I'm sure you've heard me say before, you can't lose weight until you start to get healthy. Weight loss is a proponent of getting healthy. And if you want to get healthy, then you really need to address that cellular level, your hormones, the inflammation, your gut health, right? So I will add in a link to a video. It's roughly 15 minutes long, and it gives you an opportunity just to explore this cellular support supplement to see if it is right for you. Also, if you do want to learn more and you want me to direct message you, just leave in the comment, I want to learn more, and I will respond to those messages as well. So the weight loss industry is about to become an estimated $377 billion industry by 2026. We were joking around about that yesterday. So yet the failure rate is exponentially high. This means that for a good percentage of the people who are investing in their health and fitness, that most people will either not succeed, or if they do, they won't maintain the weight loss for very long, right? We have that 80% failure rate. This sucks. So while I cannot control what you'll do after my program, what I can do is provide you with all of the literature that you need, all of the experiential exercises. You need to dive into learning about you. You need to go back to school. You need to go back to school to get the certificate, the diploma, the degree, and understanding who you are on that psychological level and on that physiological level as well. I can help you to learn more about what works best for your unique archetype so that you no longer waste your time busting your ass in the gym every morning thinking that you're taking a proactive approach when really your archetype may not benefit from that. And you're going to learn more about that as we go on in these next couple of days. So in this workshop, you'll start to get a sense of the archetype that best describes your personality traits, your body type, your meal and exercise timings, which is huge, and which career paths best suit your needs. So I introduced you to the fact that we have 6 archetypes that expand upon these 3 that you see in front of you here: the endomorph, the mesomorph, and the ectomorph. The endomorph is the strongest and most sturdy of the somatotypes with the most prominent bone structure. They have a primitive gut, pharynx, and thyroid, are great at keeping food energy in reserve, and the best of the somatotypes at coping with chronic stress. They are also hands down the strongest. The mesomorph has a naturally muscular physique due to the embryonic emphasis on muscles, circulatory system, and their adrenals. They're typically the most active and agile of the somatotypes, and the best at coping with short-term, high-stress situations. The ectomorph is the most sensitive to environmental stimuli because they have the leanest body type of the somatotypes and generally have the most difficulty putting on weight. With an emphasis on the development of the nervous system, this archetype tends to be more alert and has a sensitivity to sound, stress, and other external stimuli. So of these 6 somatotypes or archetypes, we're going to be discussing the mesomorph today in detail and the endoectomorph. So remember, I'm presenting these to you by offering information on the exact opposite archetype to help you really differentiate the characteristics to make it easier for you to identify the most prominent characteristics of each archetype. This means that although you'll be able to figure out your dominant archetype, because there are actually 10,000 variations, that is how unique you are, okay? There are 10,000 variations to these 6 different archetypes. You want to pay very close attention to the nuances of the other archetypes because some of your personality traits, some of your likes, some of your differences may resemble some of those other archetypes, despite having a very dominant archetype that you'll be able to latch onto. Okay, so here we go. You ready? Buckle up. So for the mesomorph's body composition, they have what's called a mesomorphic body composition, which means that around day 9 of embryonic development, the layer that was first and most prominent in utero to develop was the mesomorphic layer. So during embryonic development, the focus of development for the embryo is different for each one of us. So there are 3 dermal layers, and one of them is the most dominant in those early development timeframes. And that dominant layer influences the organs that are going to be most superior in you versus me, and which neurotransmitters and hormones are going to be most prevalent, making you different from me, making you different from your mom or father, sister, or brother. So since the dominant dermal layer was the mesodermic layer, the emphasis was on the adrenal cortex. And this contributes to main characteristics, which include their competitive nature, their success-orientedness, like I described yesterday, their courageousness, their energeticness, their hot-headedness, and their quickness to judge temperament. This development focused primarily on the cardiac and skeletal muscles, their kidneys, their red blood cells, and connective tissue. They also tend to be shorter in stature with shorter hands, fingers, and limbs. They are medium build with defined muscles. Now here's some cool personality traits. The mesomorph enjoy variety, challenge, and spontaneity. They seek out diversity, can be easily bored without variety, are strong-willed, and tend to disagree with ideas or decisions that they don't immediately buy into. Do you think of anybody? I've got somebody that comes to mind right away. Any of you know anybody who might start to fit into these personality traits? Let me just check in with you. Powerful info. Yes, thank you very much, Christina. I love it. So start thinking about the people in your life who might resonate with these personality traits. So due to their hormone dominance of testosterone, noradrenaline, and serotonin, they're not easily stressed by challenge. They are competitive, they are risk takers, and can more easily deal with acute levels of stress. Now, here's some more information about their particular health status. For mental well-being for this archetype, they really like it when their physical skills can be tested. They love discovering new things and meeting challenges. They work well independently and with others, and they need to be more physical than any of the other archetypes. From an exercise prescription, they like the diversity, the challenge, they like exploration, and listen carefully, anaerobic exercises are best for this archetype. They enjoy any activity that allows them to learn a skill, and they like to participate in variety. From a dietary recommendation perspective, they're more of that volumetrics diet that I talked about yesterday. So they enjoy 3 meals a day plus snacks. And this is because they have a very high revving metabolism. They need to fuel all of that energy expenditure. They also have a high number of antioxidants, or they require a high number of antioxidants, protein, and essential fatty acids. They should steer clear of dairy and wheat while limiting other grains, specifically because this archetype, because they rev so high, they have a high oxidative stress level. Okay, so they end up with more inflammation. They also should eat more dry foods than liquid foods like soups and shakes. And they have a higher hydrochloric acid level in their stomach. So when they're hungry, they are hungry, get out of their way and let them eat, okay? So this is kind of funny. They're the ones who will get in line at the buffet the earliest, okay? Or the sooner that they can get in line, the better. Although they may be picky eaters, they're the ones in the buffet who may be putting food on the plate and kind of eating the food as they go through the buffet line. Do you know anybody like that? So food, though, is not about pleasure for them. It's just really about fueling the body. Remember, these are the most active archetypes. So can you imagine if you were active all day long, how hungry you would be? So it's important that they get a chance to eat food regularly. We also want those foods to be omega-rich and mineral-rich foods, again, to help them to address that oxidative stress so that they're not wearing down their joints, so that they're not feeling joint pain, so that they don't have that inflammation inside of them. Now, from a career standpoint, the ways in which they will thrive is if they have diversity over repetition. They also need to physically move. Remember, this is a major trend for this archetype to thrive. They have a natural ability to adapt to different situations. So because of that, careers in travel, teaching, emergency medical services, and even a personal trainer at a gym would be ideal for this archetype. Their limitation, however, is in their ability to take on singular tasks. They like to multitask. The problem with that, though, is because they prefer to multitask over taking on a singular task, their ability to focus on a singular task for the level of detail that sometimes a singular task requires is less. So this tends to show up a little bit more for them when they're working in a team-based project where they have a particular task that they have to complete that requires some level of detail, or completing the job on a certain time frame that may affect other people. So let's talk about an environment that works best for this mesomorph archetype. So they can actually adopt to any environment, but a drier climate is preferred for them. And the reason for that is in a wetter climate, they actually have a higher probability of physical illness. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. So generally speaking, a temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 27 degrees Celsius is recommended for this archetype. Now here's the last slide for this particular archetype. And I want you to continue thinking about, Marie's saying me, I love it. So this is you, girl. You are resonating with this archetype. Fantastic, I'm glad. This is what I want for you. I want you to better understand you. I want you to understand that you, in particular, were talking about needing to snack at 8 o'clock at night. Well, what if that wasn't a bad thing? Isn't that good to know? You know, there's an opportunity to work on swapping out those grains for something else, swapping out the junk food for something else. But if you knew that you were a 5 meal a day kind of person, then you could plan for that, right? 3 meals a day plus your snacks. So I'm going to get into the meals a little bit more. So pay very close attention to this slide. Now, what I need you to understand is when I talk about a list of priorities, because we all our archetypes all have our own sense of list of priorities. We learned about list of priorities through Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And those were, the bottom layer was the physiological needs, the needs for safety, love and belonging, esteem, and then self-actualization. Well, what actually ends up being true is we all kind of prioritize our needs differently. So where Marie might prioritize hers, if she is a true mesomorph, hers would be on fitness first. She needs to move first, okay? So a mesomorph's hierarchy of needs or list of priorities follows this order: fitness, then food. So move and eat. You can get those down packed, then chances are your level of stress will be so much lower. After that, social activities are really important for this archetype, then their environment, then their mindset, and then their career. So although the mesomorph should move around frequently throughout the day, for strength training based exercises, 3 o'clock is the window to strength train. Okay, that is when your hormones are balanced best to accept strength training activities. And remember, your strength training activities are typically anaerobic in nature. So workouts should be between 20 to 45 minutes of moderate to high intensity interval training, kettlebells, AMRAPs, as many reps as possible, Metcons, which is metabolic conditioning, which is maximal short efforts, team sports, animal flow is another good one, and bodyweight exercises, also known as calisthenics. Now, here's something really interesting. Because this archetype likes to move a lot and they like a lot of variety, focusing or being sedentary for a long period of time can make it really challenging for them psychologically. Because of that, here's a fun tip for you. If you have a stress ball, if you put it in your less dominant hand and you throw the stress ball around in the air, that'll actually help you to refocus. Because remember, this archetype likes to focus on movement skills that they're challenged with. So just the simple act of eye-hand coordination of throwing and catching a ball in your less dominant hand will kind of help to rewire the brain enough that you can get back to being focused on the task at hand. Obviously, getting up and moving around, some squats, some lunges, some push-ups, some jump squats, like something that is a little bit more higher impact, even if it's just, 10-second bursts. That will also help you from that psychological perspective of needing to focus. Now, breakfast should actually be the smallest meal of the day and dinner the largest meal of the day. And this is so that this archetype can properly rest and recover throughout the evening. Because they rev so high, they have such a high oxidative stress, sleep time recovery is super important for them, and they need that fuel in their body to adequately recover so they can go Mach 9 hair on fire the next day. Okay, so this archetype would do really well with a high animal protein diet. So a ketogenic diet and a volumetric diet combined would work really well for this archetype, knowing that they need to stay away from dairy and wheat and a lot of grains, okay? Because again, we've got to keep that oxidative stress level down. Mesomorphs tend to enjoy debating and will usually share their opinion. They are at risk of chronic fatigue, so they need time to rest. So another pro tip for the mesomorph is at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if you can run and hide for 20 minutes and just take a quick nap, a 20-minute nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon is so rewarding. So very much like being able to stimulate the mind by throwing the ball in the less dominant hand, that will do you wonders. Being able to take a 20-minute nap at 2 o'clock so that you can recover enough for that 3 o'clock workout is absolutely going to help you to thrive in your life. And it will absolutely help you to focus in your career. Now, for all of you who do or do not resonate with the mesomorph archetype, I need you to listen to this last component, because this is really important for all of us. Like, while we're going through this journey through these 5 days together, part of the reason why we're doing this is not only for you to recognize your uniqueness, but to recognize the uniqueness in other people. And one of the unique qualities that I've identified to you today for the mesomorph is that they need to move and they need to eat. That is part of their DNA. Okay, so we need to appreciate and celebrate that uniqueness in them. So it should be made very clear that this archetype tends to be the ones who are mislabeled with ADHD and ADD, when in reality, their dominant hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, and testosterone, require them to move and eat. So therefore, they can naturally provide their bodies with movement and food to help them with the level of focus. So they don't have a problem with focus. Okay, they have a problem with focus on detail because they want to work on multiple different things, but they do not have a problem with focus. And that should be made very clear. So for those of you who feel like you've been labeled all your life as being hyperactive, you are uniquely beautiful. Celebrate the fact that you want to move. And oftentimes the rest of us need to move more. If you're a teacher and you have kids in your class, I want you to start to recognize these behaviors as well, because those students who need more movement, if we can celebrate that by, the last 20 minutes of gym class, if those particular students can just do some wind sprints, some shuttle sprints, some higher impact exercises so that they're more fatigued to then to be able to sit down in math class, science class, or English class. And by the way, when they get back into class to sit down, that they have a snack to consume, you are not going to have problems with their focus and attention. Okay, so this is how we work with people's physiology. So these archetypes are typically a little more sensitive about feeling dismissed or disruptive. So patience, empathy, and understanding for their dominant personality traits are really helpful. These are amazing human beings and we want to celebrate them. So I just want to check in. What's kind of an aha moment for you, or what surprised you about this particular archetype? Do you know anybody who kind of fills in, but geez, Marie says. Awesome. So let me know, like, what's one takeaway that you can get from this particular archetype? Because it doesn't matter if you resonate with this archetype, you know somebody who does. And this allows you to be more patient, kind, empathetic, right? We can work with them even better. Think about a relationship. If you can understand your partner's predispositions, how amazing would that be, that they're actually not doing something to irritate you? It's just part of their DNA. And the more that we understand that, the more we can be understanding of that, right? All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next archetype. So this archetype is the direct opposite of the mesomorph. And this is the one that I mentioned earlier, whose somatotype can span across all of the somatotypes. So their body composition varies considerably. However, typically they've got a larger bone structure, larger muscle, and more tissue mass. Their dermal layer development consists of 2 dermal layers, the ectodermic layer and the endodermic layer. So this focused on skin, brain, nerves, and the lungs, thyroid, pancreas, liver, and digestive cells. They're medium to tall, usually stockier, and generally have a broad chest and muscular thighs. They may also present more pear-shaped, as more adipose tissue tends to reside on their hips, glutes, and thighs. Now, their personality traits is that they're perpetual learners who are fun-loving and dependable. Safety and care for their loved ones are of the utmost importance, so they tend to follow or enforce rules. Their prominent attributes include being capable, loyal, and dependable. They're easygoing and friendly. They tend to make others feel comfortable around them. They're interested in just a few close connections than having many acquaintances. So they prefer those deep, meaningful conversations. And one of their main human needs is certainty. So from a health status perspective, for their mental well-being, they prefer to be around people. They also require stability and routine and prefer low stress environments. So the mesomorph can deal with high stress. The endoectomorph needs low stress, okay? High stress environments and eating alone affect their mood and digestion. From exercise prescription, engaging in sports or having a purpose behind an activity motivates this archetype to move. So they're not just driven to move, they kind of have to have that carrot in front of them to want to move. Now, from a morning perspective, they do not do well with high intensity exercise in the morning. That will negatively affect their metabolism. So exercise in the morning will typically constitute a 70% cardiovascular intensity as their maximum. I don't know if you can hear my dog barking, I apologize. So that should be done in the morning. So a lower intensity cardiovascular exercise. Okay, stop, Rocky, enough. Sorry. Low intensity cardiovascular exercise is their maximum level of intensity in the morning, so 70%, because they prefer a slower pace in the morning. So endurance-based activities like cycling, hiking, brisk walking, and swimming are what's recommended for them in the morning. These archetypes should move in the morning. Those are the particular activities that work best. Due to joint discomfort for this body type, they must condition their joints if they plan on engaging in high impact activities like running. Man, I wish I would have known this years ago. They are also naturally strong and might enjoy weight training, where again, a focus on joint stability is required as part of this weight training exercise routine. Now, from a dietary perspective, they require a high amount of vegetables and low amounts of sugar. This archetype is susceptible to metabolic issues when diets are high in processed foods, sugars, and refined flour. So metabolic diseases, diabetes, high cholesterol, pre-diabetes are they're at a higher predisposition for this. They can and should go hours between meals to allow for complete digestion. Their more efficient digestive system means that they don't need to eat as frequently. So less animal proteins is best, with a focus on one vegetarian meal a day. So this archetype would do better on a vegetarian diet. An interesting characteristic is that they don't like sharing their food. This is me. Okay, or eating from shared plates in the center of a table. I don't have a problem with that, but I do not want anybody touching the food on my plate. I will literally stab you with a fork. So food is important based on pleasure and satisfaction due to the higher oxytocin and prolactin hormone. Desserts are likely preferred. I know my mom's watching, so now she understands why I would always want to eat my dessert first. 2 meals per day are suggested. They can eat their favorite meal over and over again without getting tired of it. So these archetypes would do better on an intermittent fasting diet. See how we're so unique? Isn't this incredible? So for career, this career type should consist of routine and low stress. They're exceptional at locating natural patterns in human behavior, the human condition, nature, or scientific study. So because of that, and their ability to be detail-oriented and notice typos, they tend to immerse themselves deeply into the task or project. They're great at mastering skills because of this level of focus that they have. As a result, they would make good scientists, health practitioners, psychologists, life coaches, or other therapists. They think things through, weighing the risks and taking their time in making a decision. The limitations include their hesitation and procrastination as a result of needing certainty. Yes, meal size. I'm loving this, Christina. The breakfast really surprised you, Marie. So if you're a true mesomorph, then yeah, a small breakfast is for you. But remember, don't forget, you've got 3 meals plus 2 snacks a day. So your biggest meal will be at dinner time, but you still have the opportunity for another snack, or a small breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, right? So you might find that if you start to change that meal plan for you as a mesomorph, that you won't have to worry so much about that small breakfast. So from the environment standpoint, for the endo-ectomorph, they don't like to get overheated. So cool breeze is important to them. Some humidity and moisture in the air is needed so that it's not too dry. They tend to suffer from a little bit more of like the psoriasis, eczema, dry skin, that kind of thing. A house by the water may be perfect for this archetype, and living in a location close to friends and family accommodates this archetype's emotional need for stability and connection. So here's the last bit of information about this particular archetype, and then I'm going to summarize the two, which is always really fun. So the preferences for this archetype are that they are steady and reliable. They safeguard their time and space as their main priority. So remember, we talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Well, for the endo-ectomorph, time is their number 1 priority, followed by space. So what ends up happening is that, time and space are the number 1 priority. So oftentimes if you hear me on a rant, I'll say, I do not like to have my time wasted. Like, it just irritates the crap out of me. That's kind of what that means, time and space. I, don't like to be stressed out. And if you're wasting my time, it drives me crazy, which is why I don't like to waste my clients' time. So their list of priorities are placed. They have to have a clean, organized environment. Then their career that allows for a systematic and analytical, low stress approach. Then fitness, then food, then social, and then their mindset. When in balance, they make measured decisions. When stressed, however, this archetype tends to ruminate and procrastinate. So those are their limitations. Those are their self-sabotaging behaviors. With strong endurance bodies, exercises like lifting, rowing, boxing, and cycling are best. Tabatas and hits with short recoveries are not recommended for this archetype. And the reason being is because this archetype has a hard time clearing those lactic acid wastes in the blood. Lunch for this archetype should be the biggest meal of the day, with really reducing carbohydrates at dinner time. And this archetype, as I already mentioned, does really well with intermittent fasting. So here's a fun summary of these 2 archetypes. I just want to check in with you before we get into the summary. What are you thinking so far? For any of you who are on Zoom, go ahead and chat. But talk to me, what's going on in your heads right now? Are you resonating with some of this? Do you know somebody who's like this? Do you know somebody who procrastinates, kind of when they're feeling stressed? They need more time to think it through. So while both are very strong, the mesomorph prefers to rely on their natural athletic skills and quick thinking, while the endo-ectomorph is more cerebral, requiring more time to process information to make an informed decision. The mesomorph would do well on a diet with high fat and protein and carbohydrates, while the endo-ectomorph would do better on a more vegetarian diet. The mesomorph works best in high-paced, challenging environments where their cortisol, adrenaline, and testosterone hormones can rev high, while the endo-ectomorph thrives in calm, low-stress environments. The largest meal of the day for the mesomorph is dinner. This forces the body into a state of rest, which is much needed for this archetype to avoid burnout. A short 20-minute power nap around 2 o'clock before their strength training session at 3 would supercharge this archetype's body. While the endo-ectomorph should avoid breakfast where possible, benefiting from a longer fasting period using stored blood sugar levels before their next meal. That makes sense, right? Because we know that the endo-ectomorph has a higher predisposition for diabetes. So we need to get rid of that sugar that's in their blood, which is a longer process to have buffered out that sugar for this archetype. So lunch should be the biggest meal of the day for this archetype with minimal animal protein, and a high vegetable diet full of magnesium is preferred. So again, the endo-ectomorph would benefit from the intermittent fasting 16-8 window. You can even go 18-6 window. So 18 hours of the fast. I can't do that yet. With the 6-hour window to eat, or the 16-hour fast window with the 8-hour eating window, and more of a vegetarian style diet. So here's some fun information for you. I decided to just kind of throw this in. Celebrities with the mesomorphic body type include Penelope Cruz, Miley Cyrus, and Demi Lovato. Now, because these body types tend to have more of a square build, a V-shaped body, and a square jaw, Ronda Rousey and Olivia Wilde are kind of perfect examples of those looks. Now, celebrities with the endo-ectomorph body type include Serena Williams, Amy Schumer, and Beyonce Knowles. These body types also tend to have longer jaws due to more growth hormone production. And Blake Lively is a perfect example of that kind of face structure. So what do you think? Pretty interesting, huh? So tomorrow we're going to be discussing 2 more archetypes, the endo-mesomorph and the ectomorph. So is this fascinating? I love this. Yes, Christina's saying, I would love to chat with you more about this. I always thought I was an endo-ecto, but I'm wondering now. Good. Christina, all I ask is that you try and watch the rest of the week, because just like I did today, I'm going to continue to provide you with very specific information about each one. And what I really want you to understand is you will definitely identify with one of the 6. There is no doubt. There will be some preferences that lean into some of the other archetypes, and that's perfectly acceptable as well. Okay, but you will know that there's a dominant trait in you. But yes, we could definitely talk for sure. Any other questions, comments, concerns that you have? Okay, thanks, for sure. I got you, girl. Any other questions, comments, concerns that you would like to ask me about these particular archetypes? Feel free. I will go ahead and add in the video link so that you can learn more about my cellular support product. I know some of you are actually already on it. It is, I would definitely say, for those of you who do suffer from hormone imbalances, if you're high, like chronic stress, if you have problems with your gut, if you just find that you have been trying to lose weight and haven't been able to lose weight, then, you know, you've got to get healthy first, right? So we need to help the body to get healthy. So this is going to help from that physiological standpoint. So I really geeked out on pulling this together. So I really hope that you're enjoying this as much as I am in presenting it to you. And remember, this is just a snapshot of what I have to offer in my Weight Loss Accelerator program. So if you want to book a call to learn more about that program, then by all means, let me know that you want to book a call and we will talk about the Weight Loss Accelerator program. Please remember, I was transparent about this yesterday. The Weight Loss Accelerator program is different from anything that you would expect, okay? It's not like Noom, it's not like Weight Watchers, it's not like Jenny Craig. It is extremely different, okay? And there's a reason for that. You are going back to school to learn about you, okay? It requires you investing in you. So if you're ready, and I mean ready, if you're sick and tired with the way that your body, the energy level that you have, you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you just don't relate to that body anymore. Your body tries to help you. Your body's trying to protect you. There are ways in which that we can change that, the way that our body is protecting us. That comes from the psychological work that we have to do. There are ways in which we can address your psychological habits that you default into when you're stressed, when you're sad, when you're vulnerable, okay? This tends to be snacking at night. This tends to be when we say F it, you know, F it. I know I'm not supposed to have the ice cream, but I'm going to have the ice cream. And then F it, I'm going to go back into the freezer and have some more ice cream, right? Like we just have those moments where we want to rebel. And yes, we're deserving to rebel, but we don't have to rebel through food. There are other ways that we can rebel to feel good about, you know, exercising our right to be flexible without having to stay within this box of rules. But I can teach you how to do that without leveraging food as your means to rebel. And that also helps with binge eating and overeating as well. Anyway, I said too much. But if you would like to book a call, please, by all means, put in the comments, yes, I want to book a call, and I will go ahead and send you my calendar link so that you can do that. Here's just showing up for you. I'm super excited about what this will bring you. And I will then see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Here's just showing up for you. Bye.